For many people just getting started with Logic, the whole concept of using a bus can get confusing. In this video, I want to deal with two really common uses for a bus, reverb and delay. Now, there are many other situations you can choose to use a bus for, but these two are so common, it's a good place to start. Here's the audio we're going to play with. A simple guitar riff, it's got no verb on it. Now, if we want to put reverb on this, we could just put it in the effects chain right here, but that's not what we're going to do today. We're going to use a send, and we're going to bus it to bus 1. So we're sending the audio through bus 1 to what we're calling auxiliary 1. An auxiliary track is just a track we send audio through. You don't record on it, it just passes through auxiliary 1. So a send to bus 1, and it winds up on this auxiliary track. Now, if you notice right here at the top where it says bus 1, that's just a single circle. That means this is a mono track, which is not what we want. If you're creating a reverb, you definitely want this to be stereo, and many of my auxes I want to be stereo. It seems like it should be the default for Logic, but it's not. So if we click on this, it is now a stereo aux. In the effects chain, I'm now going to put a reverb on here. So go down to the reverb. Let's use Valhalla because I love Valhalla. And now we have a reverb here, but we're still not going to hear any. What we need to do is use this dial next to bus 1 to put in as much reverb as we want. So what's really important here is that this mix is all the way up. This is the mix of wet signal or reverb. If I have this down, it's just going to send through more dry signal. What I want is this mix to be 100% when we're using a bus. And then once again, we're controlling the amount of reverb with this dial right here. All the way down. We don't have any. When I pull it up, I've got a lot of verb right there. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit. Space Designer, a Logic reverb, is a little confusing. When using on a bus, just make sure dry is all the way down. Then it's 100% wet. So there we have our reverb already set up. We have it going through bus 1 to a stereo aux, and then I think we should name it. So let's just call this verb. And now let's create a delay. So we're going to use another bus, bus 2. Once again, bus 2 is a mono aux. We want it to be stereo. So I'm going to click on that and make it stereo. And then in the audio effects, we're going to add a delay. And I'm going to use one of my favorite, which is Echo Boy. So I still don't have any echo. I've got to turn this dial up to bus 2. Now we have some delay. I need this mix to be all the way up, like I said before. This needs to be wet, so I'm not sending dry signal through this aux. That's just going to make my regular audio track louder. All I want in this aux is the wet signal. I'm going to turn the feedback up. So now we have a nice little echo. Maybe I'll saturate it a bit. Maybe a little bit more feedback. If I wanted it to be a longer delay time, I can just click on this. And that's probably not what I want in this circumstance, so I'll go back down to 8th note. And this is why I love Echo Boy. It's just really quick and painless. You get this beautiful echo sound right away. So now on this track, I have bus 1 and bus 2. They're both stereo tracks. If I click on bus 1 right here, it shows me my aux 1. If I click on bus 2, it shows me aux 2. Oh, I should name this one too. Let's just call this delay. And that way, if I try to add this to other tracks, we'll look up here, we'll see verb and delay. It tells me what it is. And I can get more specific with my names, but for now, I just want to know that. So this is one of the benefits of using a bus. Let's go down to this piano track. So there's no verb on this either. Now I want to use the same reverb again. So I'm going to use bus. I'm going to send through bus 1 to our reverb. Turn up the dial. So now I've used that same send for 2 different instruments. That's a great way to use buses. We can use it for multiple instruments. So to answer the question, why use a bus in the first place? One is I can use it for multiple instruments. I can send this piano and this guitar through bus 1 and use the same reverb. This will save on my CPU, how much my computer has to work, and it also can help create a cohesive sound in my mix. If I want to, I can process this reverb, for example, differently than the dry track. I could put another effect on here. Let's go ahead and use an EQ. And I can take all the lows out of just the reverb. So I'm not subtracting low frequencies from the guitar track or the piano track. I'm just subtracting it from the reverb. That's another really good reason to use a bus. Hopefully, this should get you started in the right direction when learning to use sends and buses in Logic. It's not uncommon to have dozens of these set up in a mix because they add so much variety and control to your mix.